Hey guys, Nick here from West Tigers Podcast. In the car en route to the West Tigers rally at Pratten Park at Ashfield, where we're congregating at 10:30, just over an hour from now to march to West Ashfield, led by Darcy Byrne, Mayor of the Inner West, to hopefully have a conversation with the Holman Barnes Group, but we'll see who turns up, I suppose. And I'm in the car being escorted by my neighbour and good mate, Macca. Macca, it's been a tumultuous week, mate.
Hello, Nick.
How are you feeling about today, mate? And how have you gone the last week? Because it's been pretty tough for all West Tigers fans.
Yeah, it has, mate. It's been, I think you said tumultuous, and it's just a, understatement in itself. But yeah, you and I have crossed paths a couple of times this week, and it's fairly consuming. I mean, 2 weeks out from Christmas, and I'm sure everyone going out to the rally today has got better things to do with family and preparations around Christmas. But it's a really important time in the club. And I think probably 6 weeks ago, you mentioned Holman Barnes Group. Most probably go, well, who's that? And now, oh my God, it's like we were all gearing up for a good season, or pre-season, and leading into 26. Because front of house, led by Richo, was good, and on the field it's been a lot of improvements, so it was all pretty sound. And then it's just like a bomb's gone off.
Mate, you hit the nail on the head. Like saying, 6 weeks ago, a lot of people were saying wouldn't have known who Holman Barnes Group are. As fans, the average punter and members, we shouldn't have to worry about who's in charge of the club, who owns the club, who's making those decisions. That should be running like clockwork, like any big company, right? We're not even employees. We're just supporting the club from foundation level, from the ground up. Obviously, it does matter who's in charge and what those decisions are, but we're never going to be sitting in board meeting at West Tigers. We're never going to be meeting, unless hopefully today, with the owners of the club. We've got no say in those decisions being made from the top down. We're the guys that are pumping the money into the place, right? We're buying memberships, buying jerseys.
Yeah, 100%.
Investing our personal time and our lives into a team which has been battling for a very long time. You just want the place to run smoothly from the top. You don't want infighting. You don't want... I think most importantly, you don't want the wrong decisions being made. They keep steering you down the bottom of the toilet bowl, which is the way that I feel like it's gone the last 14, 15 years.
Yeah, it was... we've seen plenty of times when the train's been derailed, but over if you look back last season, and stability and improvement, and where we were heading, the train was back on the track.
Yep.
And now it's just been derailed. The whole week is like, and full credit to Benji. I've seen him front up to a couple of press conferences, and it's about the team, it's about the fans, and I think that's the key. Is that Keith Barnes, I mean, to have that name, even associated with what's going on at the moment, he'd be turning in his grave. And the fans came together 25 years ago. It's West Tigers. It's got so much anything to do with colours. It's just the culture that exists now. But unfortunately, there's still factions that exist and have done for many years. And it's time for the fans. We're fed up. We've had enough. We want to speak out. The NRL, they're business smart. They know that no individual, no group of people, group, board, whatever, are bigger than the game itself. And the only thing that's bigger than the product itself is the fans.
100%.
Yeah.
Can you believe it's 14 years since we played a final? I actually looked up the date because I wanted to refresh my memory last night. The last final the West Tigers played and lost in was against the Warriors. It was on September 16, 2011. That was the game where we were up by, I think it was about maybe 8 points. It was like a 2-try lead, or just under a 2-try lead with about 5 minutes to go. And we let in 2 tries to let the Warriors beat us and knock us out of the final series. But just for some added context, 2 months later, after that date, my son Jacob here in the back seat was born. Mid-November 2011. He's just turned 14. His entire life has been West Tigers missing finals. Now, I used to take Jacob to a lot of games when he was a young fella. And, mate, did you get sick of going to footy?
Yeah.
Why?
We lost all the time.
Because we lost all the time. And I said on our last podcast, there's a whole generation of Tigers fans which have known nothing but West Tigers failing and struggling, including my son. And I remember when Jacob was in kindergarten, he'd go to a mufti day, or he'd turn up at a mufti day at school, and all the kids would be wearing footy jerseys. 14 years ago, probably 50% of them were in the sort of Rydalmere catchment area. 50% of them be wearing Tigers jerseys. You know, there'd be a lot of Para, there'd be some maybe the odd Dragons jersey, etc. But Tigers, West Tigers area, you'd see a lot of Tigers colours. Now, you go to a mufti day, 2025, kids wearing Penrith jerseys or Storm jerseys or Broncos jerseys. Like, what's that even doing in our area? It shouldn't be the case. But kids aren't going to follow teams that are perennial losers. Not all of that falls back on the ownership. However, a lot of that governance part of the club has made a lot of poor decisions over that period in regards to recruitment and retention. We've obviously lost generational players like James Tedesco, Mitchell Moses. I guess you could throw in Aaron Woods into that generational bucket as well. But you know, there was a period there where if we had have made smarter decisions, I'm sure we would have been a lot more successful team, or a stronger team for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
And we've really made a mess of that. So I think if we can get the right people in charge, which I think we had a week ago.
Yeah, that's been the disaster of it all.
You need people with football smarts.
Yeah,
Shane Richardson. How can you get someone more with
credentials like that?
Exactly, with better credentials than Richo. And he's gone. He's walked away. He won't come back, regardless of what happens today. I don't think Richo will ever come back, which is sad. But I guess, like you said, great news yesterday with Benji's extension. I think that adds a little bit of stability.
And I thought he really handled himself well. He was measured, and he even said to himself, he said, based on performance, I probably don't deserve it at the moment. And I don't even think it's really on his mind. On his mind is keeping this team upbeat. The man manager, he's really, by circumstance, had to mature very quickly as a coach, and I saw signs, particularly this week, of how he's handled himself. I think one of the reporters actually said that you've done well, hold yourself together, and he said, no, this has really put me off. He said, I've got to be honest with you, this just hit me hard. But he's been able to try and separate the emotion aspects of it all and concentrate on the welfare of his players, and they've got a job to do on the field. And as hard as it is, he's dead right, where they can't afford to be distracted by what's happening externally. And he said he's all about it's all about the fans, and you can tell that it's just, he loves this club. He loves this club
more than anyone.
Yeah.
Or at least as much as we do anyway.
And the fans can see that. They know what's going on.
Yep.
They can read it. They hear it. They see it. So look, regardless of what numbers we get out there today, we're hoping that a bit of people power sends a message. And it'll be interesting to see what sort of response is from the HB group itself.
Yep.
But anyway, time will tell, and we can only control what we can control ourselves.
We're ready to fight.
If I don't get lost in this M4 tunnel, yeah.
All right, Mackie, good chat, mate. Let's hope for big numbers when we get there in a few minutes at Pratten Park, and I hope it's a very well-run, well-organised and well-run event, which I'm sure it will be. No one doing the wrong thing. Although Jacob did say he's here for violence, but he's 14, so I'll forgive him for that. But let's hope for a big and successful morning.
Yeah, go the Tigers.
Go Tigers. Okay, we've made it. We've made it to Pratten Park Bowling Club. Pratten Park Bowling Club, is that where we are? Oh, look who this is, Declan McCutcheon from the podcast. How are you, mate?
Not too bad, how are you?
Good. Mate, big day today. What are you hoping to get out of today?
I think first and foremost, just to put pressure on the Holman Barnes Group, just for the to like have the message sent across that it is West Tigers. Like, we're not very interested in like Balmain or West. It's just West Tigers moving forward, and there's no appetite for anything else. But then also just to like throw my support behind Benji Marshall as well. Thought he gave a really good press conference yesterday. He was very honest, very candid, which I really appreciated. And then just to show like how like united everyone is in the fan base for like genuine like independent corporate governance, which I think is just so important.
Spot on. What are your thoughts on Sean Milkamp and the way he spoke yesterday?
But yeah, I thought obviously he's been thrown in with the Wolves. It's a very like tough situation, and I give him a lot of credit for like taking like media questions. He spoke really well. He's got like a good background with the Mariners, like kind of taking them from like cellar dwellers to like A-League champions. So I'm really keen to see what he does. So yeah, and I think it was really good as well because he was like Richardson's heir apparent anyway for when Richardson left the club. So he comes internally already kind of aware of like what problems the club is facing. And he also has a relationship with the players. So yeah. So I'm really happy that he's interim CEO as opposed to like the other people that we discussed on the pod.
100%.
So yeah.
I get a good feeling with Sean, so fingers crossed everything goes well today and we get some action, what we need anyway out of today. So change at the top would be nice from the ownership, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. Fingers crossed.
Good on you, Declan.
Everyone's listening to radio.
Well, they just make such
I know it's a guy in my league.
Come here, Declan!
Thank you, Darcy, for putting that out. Yes, that was very unfortunate timing to miss the grand final, but I'm sure another one will be just around the corner. But I'd like to thank everyone for coming out. For anyone that doesn't know me, my name's Declan McCutcheon, and I've been on the West Tigers podcast for like a few years now. So, and I've just been asked to kind of like talk about my story, why the West Tigers means so much to me, and why just like seeing what's happening right now just really cuts deep. So I migrated from Scotland, from a small country town west of Glasgow when I was only 9 years old. I had absolutely no idea what rugby league was, couldn't tell you anything about it. Moved to Australia, to Parramatta, had a strange accent, didn't really fit in at school. I was over 6 foot by the time I was in like year 5, so I kind of stuck out a little bit. So, and then my football coach just put me aside and said like, oh, do you want to come to a rugby league game with us? I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds amazing. And he took me to my very first West Tigers game. And from then on, just seeing Benji Marshall, Robbie Farah, just the privilege of seeing those guys in the prime of their careers, I just fell in love with the club. And then from there on, I can honestly say that I've had some of the best moments with my dad at Leichhardt, at Campbelltown. Just whenever we've had success, however fleeting it's been, it's just been absolutely amazing. And I truly think that the West Tigers is my connection to this great country after migrating here, because it's given me something that I can say that I belong to in terms of belonging. So it means a lot to me, and I really appreciate everyone coming together. So yeah, just in relation to my generation, it's funny because like on the podcast, everyone always says I'm the young one, but I'm actually quite old now. So I think if anyone wants to try out for the podcast who's like under the age of 25, talk to me. We'll see if we can get you a tryout. So, but yeah, just like all the conversations I've had like with everyone, I have not heard one person come and say bring back Balmain or bring back the Magpies. It just doesn't exist because the fan base is just so united. And the fact that it's the West Tigers, and that's full stop. That's all there is to it. And there's only like a small minority of like people who seem to have this kind of like idea that like it's better if they dissolve, which is just absolutely nonsensical. So after the press conference yesterday, I had a really good thought about like what I wanted to come up and say today, and like what message I wanted to say, and what everyone else has also said as well, just like we need like true independent corporate governance. We need the right people on board so that we can finally turn this club around, and so we can finally support Benji Marshall and the playing group so that this club can be the club that we all know that it can be, an absolute giant in the NRL that should be successful for years to come. Thank you, everyone.
Come here, Declan!
Today I announce that we will form West Tigers Unite, a new grassroots organisation to give fans a real say in West Tigers. We will draw We will draw from the successful examples around the world of fans associations in different sports that have been set up when this sort of situation occurs, when fans get cut out of decision making, when their voices aren't listened to. We're all here because we haven't been listened to. And in fact, when we've complained about the fact that they're not listening to the fans, they say, no, it's not their club. It's our club. We own it. It's like it's a piece of property. Well, let's make them hear us today with a chant that some of them don't like to hear. Goes something like this. Tigers! 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 Let them hear it up the street! Tigers! 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 Thanks very much, everybody.